Hey everyone! I'm so excited to be sharing this video with you because it means the first D23 announcements for the 2026 Ultimate Fan Event are out. And we are going to go over all of the information that Disney has shared so far about the event and how to purchase tickets and discuss the reasons why you should or should not come out to this event. Welcome to the Busy Bee Chronicles. If you're new here, I'm Chelsea, and I love sharing with you the experiences that bring me joy and the information that might be helpful for you to experience similar things. One of the things I love is Disney parks, cruises, and entertainment, which is why I love attending D23. If you haven't heard of this event, basically it's a huge convention with panels, performances, shopping, and all of the announcements of what Disney and its associated brands plan on presenting in the upcoming years. It happens every 2 years in Anaheim, California, and starting last year, it expanded to include presentations in the Honda Center, not just at the Anaheim Convention Center. Now, I know there is a small version of this also that they put on in Florida, but I'm referring to the largest event that is happening in Anaheim. Now, I'll start by saying there is a lot of information to know about this event in order to make the most of your experience. So be sure that if you want to attend, take the time to learn all there is to know so that you're prepared. Now, that's why I make these videos. It helps me learn the information for my own preparations, and hopefully it will help you manage that too, especially if you feel a little overwhelmed by everything that there is to read on the D23 website, because there is a lot on multiple pages. Though I will say, I feel like they organized it really well this year in finding the information and putting it in digestible categories. So let's start breaking it down. First and foremost, in order to purchase tickets to the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, it's such a long name, you have to be a D23, the official Disney Fan Club Gold member. Now, there are different levels that you can choose, but of course, depending on your level, there are different perks. They range from a free membership option to the complete plan, which is over $300 for the year. With a free plan, you won't be able to purchase D23 tickets. You can attend if a gold member buys a ticket for you and then transfers it to you, but you can't purchase them yourself. And I'll get to more details on that when we start talking dates. So for the paid plans, which are the gold member options, you can see that there is the essential, choice, and complete plan. Basically, they range in prices because of the items that you receive in your membership kit. At the essential level, and that's what I got this year, you get what's included in the most basic kit. In the choice level, you can choose from one of the premium items, and in the complete plan, you get 4 premium items. But you'll see that they all have the same perks of access to gold events, gold offers and discounts, the fanfare newsletter, and the sweepstakes. And of course, to sum it up, this means that with all 3 of these options, you will have access to purchase tickets to the D23 event. The choices are pretty much just what you're getting included in your kit. You can see here in my basic kit, I've got my little certificates here that they award you with, your card, you got a free Lorcana or included Lorcana card, you get a $25 off any D23 event, and then a magnet, and then I also got a pin. So, pin for being a member. Now let's get to the dates. And of course, there are a lot of important dates to watch for leading up to it, but the actual event dates are as follows. Friday, August 14th, 2026. This is the first full day of the event at the Anaheim Convention Center, and that evening, the Honda Center marquee presentation will be the Disney Entertainment Showcase. This is usually the showcase where music, movies, and all of the upcoming media sorts of things are disclosed. Then we have Saturday, August 15th, 2026. This is the second full day of the event at the Anaheim Convention Center, and that evening, the Honda Center marquee presentation will be the Disney Experiences Showcase. This is also the day of the Masquerade finalist presentation, which is the ultimate Disney costume contest, basically. This is a whole thing. People make amazing costumes, and you'll see them walking around the event, but if you're interested in actually entering the contest, definitely check out the info on that and how to be prepared because there is a deadline to enter. And the Disney Experiences marquee presentation that night is basically where they disclose the information upcoming about what they're doing with the parks, different plans for new rides maybe, characters, cruises, all of that kind of stuff. Now Sunday, August 16th, 2026, this is the third and final day of the event at the Anaheim Convention Center, and that evening the Honda Center marquee presentation will be the Disney Legends Awards ceremony. But of course, let's take a look at all of the other dates that you're going to need to mark on your calendar. And so you know that any times that I mention, I'm referring to Pacific time. That would be in California and all other included areas of the Pacific time zone. Okay. March 31st, 10 a.m., Gold Charter members will be able to purchase their D23 tickets. If I understand it correctly, Gold Charter members are basically Gold members that have consecutively been members since before 2009, I think it said. So they're basically being given this special pre-sale opportunity for being such loyal members to the D23 fan club. Okay, April 2nd. This is the date that most of us need to watch for. Tickets for D23 Gold members on the Essential, Choice, or Complete plan will go on sale beginning at 10 a.m. D23 Gold members on a complimentary plan through Disney Plus perks can join the queue to purchase tickets starting at 12 p.m. and all of which are, of course, while supplies last. Now, it is mentioned that they will have a wait list this year, but I didn't find a lot of specific information about that. But it did say once the wait list closes, requests will be placed in random order. So at that point, the time of your submission, it just doesn't affect your position in line. It will be at random for whoever gets on the wait list. Also, each Gold member may purchase tickets for themselves and up to 5 guests, so 6 tickets total. Guests of D23 Gold members do not need to be D23 Gold members themselves to attend. However, they will need to sign up for a free membership because this will affect badge transfers, which we will get to next. So on April 6th at 10 a.m., badge transfer opens. Now this will only apply to you if you're purchasing more than your own ticket. So if you just bought one ticket for yourself, this won't matter for you. But if you were buying more than one ticket, this is a very important step. Basically, you have to transfer the badges, the tickets, that you purchased for others to those individuals by email. So it's like giving them ownership over their ticket, officially through D23, because all badges are assigned to a member and they're not transferable. So to do this, the purchaser will log into D23 using the same login that they made the purchase with, and you will enter the email address of the individuals that you're transferring the badges to. And you need to make sure that that's the email address, I believe, that they are also using for their D23 membership, whether it's free, whether they're another Gold member. It will send them a link to basically accept that badge and associate it to their own D23 membership account. Now remember, they can have the free version, that's fine, and guests under 18 do not need to have a D23 membership to be assigned a badge. So the person receiving the badge must sign in with their D23 member account to accept it. The ticket purchaser will still have the ability to cancel a badge transfer before it's been accepted, but after a badge has already been accepted by the person you sent it to, then that person will have full control over their own badge. And something very important to note is that even though this digital transfer of ownership takes place, the physical badges will still be shipped to the original ticket purchasers. So you will still be responsible for distributing the physical badges to the people that you transferred the badges to digitally. So make sure that if you get them all mailed to you because you bought them, you're responsible for giving them to the people you transferred them to digitally. Okay, June 24th at 8:59 p.m., very specific, this is the last chance to update your mailing address. So if that's something that applies to you, that's the last chance you get to do that. July 10th, again at 8:59 p.m., this is the last day to do badge transfers. So I encourage you to do it as soon as possible, make sure everything goes smoothly. I have struggled with this a little bit in the past. I had some trouble getting my badge transferred to me when somebody else bought my ticket. I think it had to do with me having an email change, but it's always best to do these things early on, just in case you hit a few snags, you can get that taken care of before that deadline passes. And July 13th, the Anaheim Convention Center badges will be mailed to the ticket purchasers. So remember, they're getting mailed to the person who bought the tickets. So that brings us to July 20th at 12 p.m. The reservation random selection process opens. You'll see this written in many places as RSP, but this is going to be a really important thing to watch for. So basically, you have 4 days to choose and rank your preferences for the experiences that you want to have a reservation for. And I'm sure I will have a whole video about this, but I also made one for last D23 explaining how this process works. So you can go check that video out just to have an idea until then. I'm sure it will be very similar, maybe with some minor changes. But basically, this is how you're getting reservations for certain panels, presentations or experiences at the convention center. Sometimes you get what you want and sometimes you don't. It is truly random, but they at least let you put your preferences in so that you have the best odds of getting things that you wanted. Now, there are also standby options for some things when you get to the event, but you risk waiting and still not getting into the panel or presentation. So this is a very important part of the process to get the most of your experience. But know that it's also very rare to get everything that you want. So you might have to utilize that standby process if you don't get what you want, but start by at least putting those preferences in for your best odds. And also, this does not apply to anything happening at the Honda Center. There is no standby for the Honda Center. Okay, and then July 24th, 12 o'clock p.m., the reservation random selection process closes, and you will not find out what you got from this process until Friday, August 7th. That's when they will send out emails letting you know what reservations that you got from your preferences, and it says you can modify them, but of course that's limited to availability. Now on August 5th, your Honda Center presentation tickets, if you got a ticket to the Honda Center, because you don't have to get it for that portion, which we'll talk about later, but if you did, they're going to be delivered to you digitally. So your tickets for that will be exclusively digital, so be sure to watch your email for that on that day. Okay, so now we're getting to the actual week of the event and the schedule, and there are some other things that go on leading up to it. So one of them being on August 8th, the Disney Archives is presenting Capturing Life, Creating Character, which is a new exhibition. So basically there are tickets to purchase if you're interested in visiting the Walt Disney Archives to see it. This is how I was able to get to the Walt Disney Animation Studios and do a tour. It was through D23, and sometimes they have select dates that you can purchase tickets to do tours and see it and stuff. So if you have the ability ever, I highly recommend it. It was such a cool tour. And I have a little video that talks about it, and I showed what I could show from the experience, and I'll put a little link here so that you can check it out. So obviously that's an optional experience, but it is something that they threw out there that if you're in the area, you might want to check out. Now on August 11th, there is D23 night at the Anaheim Packing District, which will feature music, trivia, fan activities, and something called the 6th Annual World Taste of the Packing District. I don't know what that is, but it sounds kind of fun. So just another little fun celebration for Disney fans, and it sounds like a nice night out if you're in the area and available to go to it. Now on August 12th, the D23 night at Angels Stadium is happening. So D23 members can get a discount on tickets to this game with some additional Disney perks like a special event space and a commemorative gift. So if you're a sports fan, this might be something that you want to check out if you're in the area that week. And then we have August 13th, which is D23 Day at Disneyland. This is always a fun little way to kick off the weekend if you have a park ticket or a Magic Key Pass. Of course, entry is, into the park is separate, so your D23 ticket has nothing to do with park entry. But they have a Disney Legends cavalcade, and they hand out D23 hats to a certain number of people as they come in until they're gone, And then they have some special offers and discounts through Downtown Disney too. So it's just some fun little perks that they have. There's some merchandise and things to celebrate the day, but it's always a really fun way to kick off the weekend. And typically you should be in town already the night before because the morning of D23 is going to be a really early morning. And then of course, like I mentioned, it is the D23 Ultimate Disney Fan event itself, and that is August 14th, 15th, and 16th. And that's a lot of dates. So that's all of our dates, at least at the moment, that we need to remember. But let's go ahead, and now that your calendar should all be filled in, let's talk about prices and actually purchasing your tickets, because that is coming very, very soon. Also, if you're watching this in the future, past 2026, note that the timeline of finding all this information out is only a few days. So prices and info went out about, I think it was March 26th, and then the date for gold members to purchase tickets is April 2nd. So not a very long turnaround time to decide and plan what you're going to do. Just be prepared if you know that it's something you want to attend, so you have an idea of your plans once the information is available and you're ready to go. Okay, so let's break down the cost of the event and the ticket types so that you can decide what is going to be the ticket that works best for you. They made this very helpful chart, which I love, and I'm going to show you here. Okay, so here we can see on the D23 website page, this is just one page of many that has lots of information, but these are the ticket options. So The cheapest one that we have is the D23 Fan Pass, which is 1 day afternoon only. This is a new option. It starts at $49. Basically, the only thing that you get is access to panels, presentations, shopping, and immersive experiences. So that is only at the Anaheim Convention Center. Now, with that being said, you do not get access to the RSP system at all. So when it says panels, presentations, shopping, all these experiences, remember that if it's something that's going to require a reservation or you don't get in the standby line, that is not going to be included. And this is only for entry after 4 o'clock. So I think this is a really great option. It gives you a chance to at least get into the show floor, see what they had offered, do some shopping, but know that if you are trying to hit everything that is there to be offered, basically, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff because coming in at 4, many things are gone already from the morning, and you're going to have limited access to what panels are left in the day because you're going to be doing standby. Then we have D23 Fan Pass for 1 day, starting price $99. You're getting the same thing. It's just that you will be able to get it in the morning and you will be able to use that RSP service. The D23 Fan Pass 3 day, again, this is basically the same experience, but you're paying for all 3 days of doing that. And you will have access to that RSP because you can get in there in the morning. The only one that isn't going to have access to that is going to be this one, the 1 day afternoon. Afternoon is the one that you're not going to have access to do any reservations. Then we get to the D23 Ultimate Fan Pass for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And these ones, of course, we're showing, individual days because you can choose which day you want to do it. Starting at $99. They're all going to get access to the Anaheim Convention Center and reservations and all of that. And then for the marquee presentations at the Honda Center, you will only get the one that is on the day that you choose. So if you have access to Friday, you will only get to go to the entertainment showcase because that is the day that you purchased your ticket for. And something very important let's pay attention to is that this says starting price. So that means that this is not just a flat rate that you will get for $99. This is all included. It means that this is what it will start at. So depending on where you choose your seat in the Honda Center is going to change and fluctuate this price. It could be more expensive than $99. It might be $99. You might find a seat for that, but it can fluctuate, and they don't, at least on this page, give a max rate. Then we have the D23 Ultimate Fan Pass 3 day, and basically that's all 3 of these combined into one. So for $297, you're getting to do the Anaheim Convention Center for every day and each of the Honda Center experiences. And of course, like before, this is a starting price. So that means that depending on what seat you choose, then you are going to be paying potentially more than this for this experience. And then we have the final one, that is the D23 Ultimate Preferred Fan Pass. Starting at $1,299, you're getting all of the things of above, but also you're added to that, it is preferred floor seating. So you're in the closest seats on the floor, up close to the stage in the Honda Center, and you also have access to reservations for limited edition pins, and these are going to be when I had looked into this a little bit further, this is specifically for certain places. This is not just the ones that you're expecting that are typically there. These will be specialty for anyone who purchases this type of pass. Now let's jump over to this wonderful thing that they offered, which is the D23 ticket buying guide with screenshots and literally a tutorial on how to buy your tickets, which is so helpful because if you've done anything like this before, you know it could be a little stressful. So it's nice to see what it's going to look like before you start the whole process and are in the mix of trying to do it on a time frame. So I won't read the entire thing to you. I encourage you to please do that before purchasing. But let's take a look at a few of the important things that stood out to me because I found that this page disclosed a lot about what to expect in the process and in the pricing. Okay, so here we have the ticket buying guide. I love that they even made this visual. Thank you for all of us visual learners. It's step by step. And again, I'm not going to read all this to you. I really do encourage you to read that before you get in line for ticket sales. But let's just take a look at a few of the things that stood out to me. So this one The countdown page will open to these eligible D23 Gold members 24 hours in advance of the ticket on sale. When the ticket sale begins, the countdown page will automatically refresh and you'll be randomly assigned a spot in the virtual queue. So to me, that means that the page to which you can join the queue is going to be available 24 hours before that time. So for example, if we are Gold membership, any of those three, right? Doesn't matter which one. Be essential, choice, or complete. We're buying at the same time. But for a Gold membership plan, the page will open up April 1st at 10 a.m. But April 2nd is when the page will refresh, and then you'll be able to start purchasing tickets. You'll be in the queue for that. Not sure why it's opening up 24 hours like that in order to join, but I guess it's to allow for some access to get onto that page without having to rush and get there when it starts on time. Also very important, once the ticketing queue begins, please keep the queue page open to maintain your place in line. So opening the queue in another browser or device may cause you to lose your spot. So just stay on your page once you have it open. Okay, so you'll need to make sure, of course, that you are logged in because it will not recognize you as a D23 Gold member if you are not logged in before you start. Now I will say on most things, even if I start logged in, it usually by the time it refreshes and comes around, I have to log in again. So just be prepared for that if it does it to you, that you just gotta enter your stuff again, log in, and you should be good to go. So this is the page that is going to open 24 hours in advance. Basically, this is what it'll look like. It'll show that tickets are on sale in however much time, and then this will be the page that will refresh once it is, for example, April 2nd, 10 a.m. if you're a Gold member. That's when it will refresh to actually get into the queue to purchase tickets. And then you'll know that you're in the queue because it will show you this and give you an idea of how long your wait might be. So definitely have it nearby with you because it could be a very long wait, or all of a sudden the time could change. I know sometimes it'll tell you, oh, you have 3 hours, and then maybe it didn't actually take that long. So don't wander too far away from your queue. Just make sure that you keep an eye on it. And very important, you will have 10 minutes to complete your ticket purchase. So once it lets you in and it's your turn, you only have 10 minutes. But I did read, and we'll see if we can find that in here where I saw it. Here it is. You'll have 10 minutes to complete your transaction. Timer and cart are at the top right of the screen. I like that they're going to give you a timer. Clicking clear your cart at any time will reset the 10-minute timer. So if you're shopping and you've picked something and you changed your mind, if you refresh your cart, then the timer will start over again. Okay, now this is an important section if where you sit, if you choose to include the Honda Center as a part of your experience. If you're doing an ultimate fan pass, single day or 3-day, that means you're going to the Honda Center. So you're going to be choosing tickets for the Honda Center because that is not standby and you'll actually have an assigned seat. So if it's important where you sit, you're going to want to thoroughly read this section. But basically you can see that the different sections are associated to different tickets. So Fan Pass, Ultimate Fan Pass, 1-day tickets are going to be in these sections that you have an option to choose from, and so on with all of the others. So just having an idea of what section you're comfortable with choosing, there we are, and go by that chart to have an idea of, okay, maybe this section, those are going to be open to me. I like this one or I like that one. And be prepared and know that when you click on a section, the price range, that's where the price range is going to change depending on your seat in what section. So again, that refers back to we had a starting price, and this is where it's going to make it fluctuate because it depends on where you choose your seat. Okay, and then once you select your seat, just like a concert or anything, same process. And it gives you your total, you'll have your prices in there, and you completed at checkout, and you'll be all good to go. Okay, so we covered a lot of stuff about planning, but there is still more info out there, especially regarding their policies and procedures in and around the event. Those are things that you have to check out if you're going to go, for sure. But I'm going to share my top 5 tips that I think could make a very big impact on your day or how you choose to experience this event. All right, number 1. It is a huge event with stuff going on nonstop, and it is awesome. But if you get overstimulated, don't like large crowds or noises, make sure that you're prepared. I personally make sure that I bring my earplugs, and often I do wear them. I like to use the loop earplugs because with that specific style and brand, I feel like I can still hear talking and be in the mix of things. They're also pretty discreet, but it just tones everything down a little bit so it's not so tiring throughout the day. I also bring some snacks that are comfortable to me within what's permitted, you know, of course, because there's certain things maybe you can't bring in. But I don't always like the food that's offered, and I also don't want to add another line to my day. So even if you have reservations for something, know that you will be standing in lines for everything. You'll just either be getting in a standby line or you'll be getting in the reservation line. So everyone is talking constantly, the energy is really high and exciting. There's music overlapping from all directions and people walking in all directions. So it can just be kind of exhausting for some of us. So be prepared for that so that you can feel your best all day. Also, you can escape if needed and come in and out of the event. It's just hard to do with scheduling because if you want to see all the things, you take the chance of not having enough time to get outside and get back in. And if you leave the property, you have to go through security again. So just manage the things that will make you comfortable. I don't think it's something that if those things are overwhelming for you that you shouldn't do it. I just think go prepared. Like I always go prepared. I have my little comforts. I take a few minutes out of the day to go find a quiet corner, rest a little bit, and then jump back into the chaos because it's fun chaos. Number 2, book your hotel early. If you don't live within driving distance, make sure that you book early. There are a ton of hotels in the area, but anything within walking distance will make your life a lot easier on convention center days because you won't have to deal with parking and the added time that that's going to take to get there. And that brings me to number 3, which is transportation. If you're driving to the event, know that parking could be off-site. So if it fills in the parking spaces that are close by to the convention center, plan for that time that it could take a while. Also, they will have round-trip shuttle service for those going to the Honda Center, they said. But I remember that the lines were pretty long for that, people mentioned last time. I didn't get a chance to go to the Honda Center last time, so I'm hoping I get to do that this time. But I do remember people said it took a while, so you have to prepare for that in order to get there in time. Number 4, make sure that you don't have anything that could be prohibited to enter with, and that if you choose to wear a costume, it complies with all of the rules. There's nothing worse than waiting in that line to enter, and then you have to go back to your car, or back to your hotel room, or whatever it is that you brought that you can't bring in, you have to throw away. So just double check all of the rules for anything that you might wear or bring with you so that you're not stuck in that situation, because that's the start of your day. And bag size is very specific for the Honda Center. So you can't bring any food or drink in there. It has to be a certain size. Some medical and infant exceptions are there. So if that's something that applies to you, make sure you check that out. But thoroughly read those guidelines because you don't want to waste any time on entry. And again, you don't want to get to the Honda Center and have stuff with you that you now have nowhere to put somewhere. And number 5, that is get there early in the morning. So unless you chose the afternoon pass, of course, you're going to want to get to the convention center early. Not only do you want to make sure that you're awake and ready to do the RSP system for any of the shops and things that basically have virtual queues, but you're going to want to actually physically get there early to get into line to go through security so that you can get into the event when it starts. Whether it's getting in line for a panel that maybe you didn't have a reservation for, or still have a reservation for and you don't want to be late, or some of the shopping, all kinds of things happen early. And you don't want to get in there so late that you end up missing the opportunity to get in a line that now it's closed or something like that. So just make the most of your day, especially if you're going to go to the Honda Center too. If you're going to the Honda Center later, then you have to leave the convention earlier than maybe you would have planned to get there in time. So with all of that being said, all that information, what I really think the questions are that you should ask yourself if you're trying to decide if D23, the ultimate Disney fan event, is something that's going to be worth it to you is 1, is it affordable for you right now, or what ticket can you get? 2, with that ticket, do you feel like you will get to see and accomplish what you want from it? And number 3, are you prepared to be patient and aware of everything surrounding the event so that you can make the most of it? If you can answer yes to all of those, then I think it will absolutely be worth it to you. It's such a fun place to be with just all this great, stuff about Disney everywhere. I can't wait to go again. There's so many different things each year, and then also things that are recurring that you're like, oh, I love this part of it, just different stuff. You'll make a lot of memories. You'll meet fun people that have, things in common with you. And it's great. So if you get the chance to attend and you think all those things are worth it to you and that it's something you would enjoy, then absolutely go for it and try it out. So don't forget to like this video if it was helpful for you, subscribe to the channel, it really does help me out, and turn on bell notifications so that you get notified every time I post new videos and updates. You can also follow me on Instagram when I will be sharing real-time clips of my day while I'm at the event. I hope this helped you prepare for D23 and that I see you there. So thanks for buzzing by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.